Tide 100.9 app, HD2 Northport, and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. A Town Square Media Station.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I've just wondered if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you could pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to recruit you, and I run it back to the biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
I'm Martin Hutton, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. Martin Houston live on Facebook and YouTube, also at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. It is a beautiful Monday morning. Alabama still the best team in the land, but is the gap closing? We'll talk about that. Is parity in college football, with the exception of a couple teams? Saw a lot of upsets, close games, barely getting away, barely escaping, some not getting out. But Alabama taking care of business, as well as so much more to get to. But before we get into that, I want to remind you that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. I want to invite you to get in on the conversation at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business. Taco Casa, quality, taste, value, and the biggest cactus in town. A great choice for lunch and or dinner. So go check them out and find them online once again at tacocasa.com. And they are the sponsor of the hotline. So give us a call and we'll give them a shout out. Speaking of a shout out, we will have a score prediction contest rolling again. Chuck Hunt actually had the closest he was actually under, but he had the closest to this week's score, as Alabama came up a little lower than everyone else was expecting, but still was able to hold Ole Miss down. Chuck Hunt had guessed 35-28. Everyone else was in the high 30s to 40s and expected Ole Miss to do a lot more damage. So this week's score prediction contest will feature Bryce Young's passing yards as the tiebreaker. So give us a call so we can speak with you on that this morning, or post your score, your comments, your thoughts and ideas on our chat features throughout social media. We got good, bad, and ugly I'm going to get to today. Play of the game from Saturday. Love to see if you agree or disagree with the play of the game that I think absolutely was a tide turner. Then, of course, players of the game when we're looking at Alabama. And then just from around the weekend, what were some of the best things you saw from this weekend in terms of college football? And then we'll do around the SEC. What we get to today, we'll get to. What we don't, we'll kick down the road. Good morning, Joe. How you doing, sir?
I'm all right today, Martin. Just getting settled into a Monday, getting ready for another big week.
Absolutely, another big week, and because of the big week that we have, it'll generate one of the topics that I said that before last week. I had put this week's coach in a category, despite having a national championship from Florida State. I feel like that Jimbo Fisher and uh, Jim Harbaugh go in the same pod of being the most overrated coaches, most hyped coaches, with without results to show it. You take away that one national championship winning season from Florida State, and Jimbo Fisher is an 8-4 guy. And they're paying him. They locked in for even more of Jimbo, and um, you know uh, they went down again to Mississippi State, a game that was supposed to be our big showdown. Big showdown. Uh, you know, and now it's almost we going into this game, instead of getting them hyped about this could be deciding the West, we're going to have to make sure that Alabama, or Nick Saban's going to have to make sure that Alabama doesn't underestimate Texas A&M and their talent and their ability to beat them. That's how bad of a season I think Texas A&M is having right now. So CJ Watson, that's a great observation. Watching the game Saturday, I said at halftime, Lane is out coaching himself. Well, yeah, without a doubt. he, he I think he actually inspired Saban to be more aggressive. In a typical game, we wouldn't have 42 points if we had played the way we played Saturday, because we probably wouldn't have went for those fourth downs, and which ended up extending drives and getting us more points than normal. Yeah, Nick Saban took a little bit of the playbook out of from Lane Kiffin, and that's one of my goods was both teams' fourth down play, both sides of Alabama's ball fourth down play. Alabama on fourth down success after the first two successful Ole Miss fourth downs that Alabama proved to be the better team on defense against Ole Miss's offense. And then, of course, we had some success on offense as well. And speaking of that, one of the top situations and circumstances, or what I believe was a play of the game, I believe was Tim Smith's fourth down play against the Ole Miss Rebels at the goal line. Not was it just a great play for any point in any game or any circumstance or any situation. I think that play single-handedly flipped that script on that game. Let's bring in Curtis Lewis and see what he has to say. Good morning, Curtis. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, good morning, Martin.
Good morning.
I gotta give Pete Golden credit. That was the best game he's called since he's been at the Capstone. That was a beautifully called game.
Hey,
the blitz packages coming from all over the place.
Curtis, he was unbelievable. I mean, as far as playing, and I told someone, they said, "Well, what do you think about the 21 points?" I said, "Well, some of that was late." I said, "Had we tackled earlier, he actually called a better game than we executed by far." Because that first drive, we missed several third downs and fourth down because of tackles, not because he didn't have them in the right place. So kudos goes to Pete Golding and that defensive staff. So yeah, no doubt we both agree on that one. Go ahead.
Yeah, and like you said, he had the players in the position to make the plays. So it wasn't on Pete. I mean, you got, like I said, so many missed tackles in that first drive was just unreal. But Pete had him where he needed to have him, man. He had the guys filling in on the gaps. He had people fill the run fix was perfect. I mean, Pete really called a good game. Now, I've still got some concerns about our offensive line. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Well, and actually, I thought they played their best game, Curtis. I think late they had some issues, but I thought overall, I know they had the 4 sacks, but I think 3 of those sacks were on him. So what did you see that was still concerning you, huh?
I saw many. I saw 3 or 4 times when Bryce was running for his life, not because he was holding the ball too long, but simply because he had such quick pressure coming in his face. And that's what had me concerned on that. But now, in the offensive line, on their behalf, though, I would say that they played a good game. Now, they had some great situations where he had some great blocks on the corners. You had the A-gap was never really compromised, so and Dalcourt might have missed the block every now and then, but for all in all, he played a very good game. I think it was his best game too.
Let me.
I really feel good about the team moving forward.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying. It's terms of I thought you saying that they played a bad game. No, there was a couple times where I don't think they picked up the blitz, and that's where you're talking about that immediate pressure. A couple times, and I saw that, and so I always wonder sometimes was y'all, if you listen to my show, you know that I always go, okay, what happened? Okay, guy came free a couple times now, but Bryce beat those pressures, so I wondered, Curtis, are they letting him read him? That's his hot guy. Is that misprotection or not? I didn't see Owens get beat off the corner as much. And that's what I probably looking at more than anything, because most of the time, if we're talking about the same thing, those pressures or those runners were usually more up the middle and right in his face.
That's right. And I think Owens did a good game. That was, again, I think one of his best games that he's played this year. So I felt good that way. I don't know if his guy that was coming off the edge on Owens was what I would call an XC caliber defensive end, but he was still holding his own over there, and that was good to see.
Yeah,
and I think
it was.
That, with the way the offensive game was called, O'Brien kept them in step the whole time. He kept pressure on Lane Kiffin the whole time, and Lane gave him a lot of help. Now, them stupid calls make just to make any sense. What were you doing, Lane? It's like Lane was on crack.
Yeah,
you gotta let that go, Lane.
He got in his own way early when
he did.
He got in his own way early, so.
Like, he let one play dictate his next play and dictate almost when he didn't make it that first thing he could make it on 4th down. It's like that dictated his whole game plan from that point forward. Like he was just trying to go out and do something against Saban.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what killed him, because he's the one that made the stupid statement like, get your popcorn ready.
Yeah.
But man, that's gracious alive.
Yeah.
You got to get your Band-Aids ready. You called a really bad game.
That was as bad as I've seen him perform. So, but hey, you got anything else for me before I let you go?
No, that's it, Martin. I appreciate you, man. Y'all have a good morning.
All right, appreciate you, Curtis. Call back anytime. All right, hey, we'll go. Let's go to break and then bring Robert, because I don't want to shortchange him. Robert, hold on through the break, and we'll bring you back on the other side. You listen to the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. The hotline is open. The Taco Casa hotline is open, 205-342-9904. We're looking for plays of the game. Good, bad, ugly, your thoughts, your comments from the weekend. We'd love to get all of that in on the conversation, and you can be a part of it at Tide 100.9. You can tweet us, call us, text us, whatever way, and we'll interact with you this morning on the Martin Houston Show. We'll be back in just a moment for more football and breakdown of Alabama versus Ole Miss.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks on this Monday morning. Traffic pretty light. We do have a flash flood watch in effect and a dense fog advisory, so just be careful. If you see conditions, give us a call. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business with amazing selection, low finance rates, extra rebates, and they'll save you a bundle. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Tuscaloosa Tire and Service, they've got the big brands you know and trust. Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Cooper, and they can finance for you as well. When you need routine maintenance and alignment, a tune-up, whatever it is, belts, hoses, just basic stuff, or when you don't know what's wrong with your car, truck, or SUV, make it Tuscaloosa Tire and Service. They're dependable, they're trustworthy. That's why they've lasted for over 36 years. Skyland Boulevard, McFarland Boulevard East, in Northport on Lurleen Wallace Boulevard. Check out the website, TuscaloosaTireandService.com.
If you're in HR, you're probably wearing a lot of hats. Recruiter, team builder, trainer, mediator, policymaker, and of course, paper pusher. But not anymore. Bamboo HR is the #1 HR software for small and medium businesses. It manages all your employee data easily and automates countless tasks, so you can focus on people, not paperwork. Bamboo HR frees you from spreadsheets, so you can do your real job, creating a great place to work. If the data shuffle and paperwork mountain have you ready to hang up all your hats, you're ready for Bamboo. If you handle HR records and paperwork, Bamboo HR is a dream. Let us free up your time and put your days of pushing paperwork behind you, so you can focus on the people and making your company a great place to work for everyone. Try PC Magazine's top pick for HR software free today. Just go to bamboohr.com/panda. This is a limited offer only available to radio listeners at bamboohr.com/panda. That's bamboohr.com/panda.
Hey, Bama fans, before you head to the stadium to watch the Tide roll, stop by JD's Market and Spirits for all your tailgating needs for Bama football games. Located only 3 blocks from the stadium, JD's offers over 500 liquor items, 400 wine items, and a huge selection of craft, domestic, and imported beers. JD's also has hot dogs, snacks, ice, and game day supplies. Everything you need for tailgating. JD's Market and Spirits, 400 yards from Bryant-Denny Stadium on the west side. Call 722-2113.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A wet weather pattern continues over the next few days. Mostly cloudy today and tonight with occasional showers and thunderstorms likely. The high today 76, tonight's low 72. Tomorrow a cloudy day with showers and thunderstorms likely. The high at 77. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 72 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at southmarkdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Oh man, it's Tuesday. I'm not Tuesday. It's Monday morning, and of course, a couple people have told me that they're just gonna have to leave the show because they've heard it all. Curtis Lewis called up and gave Pete Golding a compliment, and TJ Watson said, "Well, y'all, I guess my time here has come to a close. I just heard Curtis Lewis compliment Golding. It's been real. I'm out." And then, of course, said, "Just kidding. You're right, Curtis. It was a good game for Pete. Truly was a good game for Pete, without a doubt." And then, of course, Lane Kiffin. Everybody got their popcorn ready. He is going to be the troll master for at least a week. How much did Lane Kiffin's behavior at the beginning of the game and Lane Kiffin's coaching during that game hurt our little poll from last week, where Lane Kiffin was one of the favorites to replace Nick Saban? Did he hurt himself as a favorite in that sense? All of that can be talked about, but most of all, let's get to the game. Let's see what Robert from Mobile wants to talk about. Robert, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, I haven't been as hard on Pete Golden as Curtis, but I've had my share of criticism of him as well.
You were close.
I was close. Well, it wasn't too much because I thought they were going to rise to the occasion. I actually, my score was 52-28. You hold a team like Ole Miss under 30 points. That's the defense doing their job, and I believe they can do it.
Yeah,
so it wasn't too hard on it. But,
yeah,
I didn't was expecting 21, and he scored a 42-21. It wasn't even that close.
No,
the game was not even that close.
not at all. Game wasn't that close at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was maybe 14 points legitimately, and then the last touchdown was just a total embarrassment. But that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, he did his job. It was supposed to be, I think, it was the number one rushing team in college football at that point, or statistically anyway. And we shut him down. We held him under 78 points, unlike last season. When have an answer thing. But okay, this year, they weren't gonna run the ball. What can you do when you can't run the ball?
Listen, I told you, I felt like and I started the week off going. Somebody gonna have to tell me, but I just didn't feel like this game was gonna look anything like last year's game. I talked about, Robert, that Nick Saban had seen what Lane they called us by surprise last year, and I'm gonna tell you, Nick Saban does not get ahead of himself when he's coaching. But you remember when Florida beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl? I know a player that was on that team and that came back the next year. And he said they worked a little bit on what Florida did to hurt them at least once a week. It may have been 5 minutes, but it was a little bit of Florida mixed in every week, all summer that they were getting. And I felt like, and I didn't say that last week, but I felt like that's what Nick Saban was doing to get ready for Lane Kiffin. And that team looked like that they had been preparing for that game for more than a week. That looked like, okay, we know exactly what you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it, because they were in position more than their performance even reflected.
And you can best believe they're going to be doing the same thing with Georgia for the rest of the year as well. There's no question about it. That's why you're the GOAT. I think you're the GOAT doing stuff like that.
Yes. Yep.
Like you said, the play of the game absolutely was the first stop on the fourth down. Like Alabama would have won anyway. We all know that. But okay, that turned it from you probably hang for almost 4 quarters to the old I must crush you now.
Yeah.
You missed that. Okay, I must crush you now. It's over.
Yeah.
And I think Kiffin knew it was over that point too. Okay. Well, he definitely knew after the second fourth down conversion. Yeah, okay, now, dude. Okay, now you're gonna get embarrassed. You're gonna get embarrassed now. You got to have a short field too. But Lane Kiffin did it for a reason though. He knew he did not have a defense to stop Alabama.
Correct.
They were like, let them march the field down on the field for 98 yards, or you can march down the field for 50 yards. Well, if I hold on to the ball, at least I get a possession.
Yeah, he actually said that. He actually said that at halftime. He actually said they would just score from further away.
And they take more time doing it.
Yeah.
They have more time to come back. So he knew what he had on defense.
Yeah.
And he knew what he had on defense too. Like, okay, well, they're 24 points. I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah.
And that's the same way with this one. We knew he was going to, he didn't have the defense to stop Alabama. You asked a question about is there parity in college football? There is parity from 2 to 20. I mean, no, from 3 to 20.
That's right. Hey.
From 2 to 3 to 20, and those other things.
Let me ask you this though: now Georgia's defense is legit. Period. Point blank. Period. Yep. I'm not sure yet on their offense. I'm not sure that Bennett can do it. Now I'm gonna tell you, their running game is legit, and the tight end is legit. I'm not sure about the wide receivers and Bennett's ability to push it down the field. So if you get them in a tight box and make them have to go to the pass, are they good enough to beat Alabama? Now I think that most teams, they're giving up 4.6 points per game. Their special teams have 3 touchdowns. Their defense has allowed 1. Okay, so you don't have to be great on offense when you're getting that type of defense. But will they run into? Remember that was it 20? Which team was it? 2016 or 20? I can't. The Alabama team against Clemson and Deshaun Watson. That when our offense struggled a little bit, our defense couldn't get off the field against that offense, and they end up running 99 plays. I could see that being how Georgia gets beat.
Yeah, and so the next 2 games are really interesting for Alabama and Georgia. Just we're expected to win, we're expected to win big, but how they win is going to say a lot. Auburn's defense is not terrible. Auburn's defense is just a little bit less than Alabama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if Georgia can still run the ball down Auburn's throat, then okay, that's a huge concern. Because this defense isn't too far off ours.
Right.
Still for 300 yards. But they can't, and they're gonna be in a hostile environment for the first time in years. A truly hostile environment.
Right.
Last time Clemson was hostile too, and the offense sucked.
Right.
So if you only get 3, or you can only get 3 points on offense against Auburn, they'll find a way to beat you.
Especially at home.
Yeah, especially at home. In Alabama, if you guys sell the crowd noise business, the problem that you had in the first game against Florida. You let Florida overachieve. Well, Florida overachieve.
Yeah.
We did Ole Miss, we made them underachieve because we were at home. Can you make Texas A&M? Don't let Texas A&M overachieve in this game. The point
right.
is, 17 points? Cover that and then some.
Right.
Shut it down. You got to handle business that way. So how both these teams win these next 2 games, they're going to tell us a lot about them, the ability to beat each other. So
yeah.
Right now, it's Alabama and Georgia's world, and all the rest of college football is just living
in. All right, thanks, Robert. I agree with you totally, 100%, man. We'll keep this conversation going.
One more thing. That mic drop, that mic toss and popcorn thing. If you're Nick Saban, you winning this much, you can get away with those comments. Or like Ogeron, you get away with comments if you winning like Saban, or even Debo Sweeney. But you ain't got there yet, so you got to be humble and cool. And otherwise, Wilbon's going to have a field day on you today. I don't know the white PTI, but I think I may watch it today just to see what Wilbon says.
Yeah, it's going to be a troll city for a little while. Thanks, Robert. All right. All right, man. That's Robert. Let's Chuck, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, Brother Houston. I was listening to you that summer when you talked about the prediction I made. I was thinking about Alabama and those games. After just thinking back into that Florida game, I was kind of making a following. We talking about improvements in Ole Miss. That's why I had that score kind of like that. And I thought about it. I was at the Grambling Alabama A&M game this past Saturday, and a friend of mine, he went to school at Grambling. He had his phone. He was looking at the scores on his phone, and I heard that score, and that's what thinking about it. He brought it up. I thought, what is that? That's what closer to what he was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a close one, and Alabama definitely. Alabama could have got more and could have held Ole Miss to less, but that's the way some of these games go. You have to kind of think of not just how good the teams are, but how the game itself is gonna play out and all of that. And you got the closest on that one. So
okay, yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations. I said congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. I truly appreciate that. What do I need to do? I know one. What do I need to do?
Just get your address to Joe.
Okay.
Just hang up when we get off here, and everybody that has won, just know all your stuff will be sent to you. I may send them because I'm paying for the shipping. I'm not shipping out every week. So if you win multiple times, you'll get the gifts at one time. So, but I'm tracking everybody. All right. Well, yeah, if you just hang on when we go to break here, just let Joe and them put you back on hold, Chuck, and they'll get your address.
Okay, I'm gonna leave this with you, but strange things that have happened in football. Cincinnati beat Notre Dame, and then LSU lost to Auburn, and LSU hadn't lost to Auburn in Tiger Stadium in Death Valley since 1999.
And then Stanford lost to Oregon. So, Oregon lost to Stanford. It was quite a few upsets this weekend. That's why I asked the question, Chuck, has parity hit college football? Because so it's a lot of close games happening out there, and then even more upsets this year. It seems like parity has hit, with the exception of two. And my question is it a 1-year thing or not? Definitely a lot more interesting games happening around the country, though. Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate you, man. Hold on, and Joe will get that information from you.
Okay, and nice chatting with you. Take care.
Same here. Thank you. Coming back on the other side, we'll continue the conversation. I'm going to give you my good, bad, ugly. Not a lot of ugly from the game, a little bad from it. We'll talk about players of the game, best thing I saw this weekend. Maybe even have to jump over to the NFL for that. And then, of course, players of the game. And we'll jaunt around the SEC. A lot to get to, not a lot of time to get there, but we'll get it done right here on the Martin Houston Show.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks on this Monday morning. Traffic pretty light. We do have a flash flood watch in effect and a dense fog advisory, so just be careful. If you see conditions, give us a call. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business with an amazing selection, low finance rates, extra rebates, and they'll save you a bundle. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard, right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston show.
With the pass rush, which was probably really important. We didn't give up a lot of explosive plays until, late in the game. We gave up a couple. So we played the whole game in the same personnel group, so we didn't get in all this substitution stuff that was a problem for us last year. So the players did a good job of executing it. And, most of the pressures that we did do were push the pocket in the middle, kind of simulator type things to play zone, because a lot of the stuff that they do is really tough to play man-to-man against.
That's Coach Nick Saban talking about how to play against Ole Miss, limit the number of substitutions. We thought that they would want to play more players, but that we actually played probably fewer players. We just got off the field more as the game went along, but had some great packages together, press the pocket, get pressure in his face versus just rushing. And then, of course, Drew and Anderson played great around the edges and not allowing him to escape outside the pocket. And, of course, Tim Smith with the play of the game. I also thought he made big plays throughout the game. And then, of course, you have to give a shout-out to Big 48, Evan Mathis, and the way he played was a game changer early on, especially with the sack fumble caused early in the game. I mean, Phil, what did I call him?
Evan.
Evan Mathis would be a flash from the past. Huh?
Old offensive lineman.
Yeah, that'd be a flash from the past. Big number 48, Phil Mathis played, I think, one of his better games or best games. So kudos to him. So much to get to. I'll hit the ugly real quick before we bring on Tom. The ugly was Ole Miss, fourth down. I almost got to the point where I felt bad for Lane. Almost. I didn't, but almost. That looked like a desperate man making some really, really elementary, high school, not even high school, middle school, elementary type of Pee-wee Dixie League play calling. When he was going for fourth down early in the game, he got really desperate. And then the one play that I haven't heard anybody talk about, but it was one of the ugliest plays I think I've seen for an Alabama football player in a while, when Emil Ekiyor got pancaked by Ole Miss defender, and the first thing that hit was almost the back of his head, but it was his nameplate on his jersey. Joe, did you see that play?
He had a couple where he got blown up in this past weekend, but yeah.
This one was out on the edge, out in the open. He was pulling the lead on the run play, and that it looked like a DB came up, a safety. Someone don't give me at least said it's a safety, Martin, but he got blown up. I was like, I guess he didn't think the guy was going to hit him. I don't know what he was doing, but it was ugly. Best pancake of the year so far. Unfortunately, it was to one of our guys. We got Tom who's waiting. Tom, thanks for your patience. You're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, good morning, Bart. How are you?
No, I'm doing well, sir.
Great. I got two questions.
Go ahead.
The first one is my observation is that this team, offensively and defensively, is progressively taking steps toward get better and better every week. And I think they took a big step on both sides of the ball this week against Ole Miss. And I wanted to get your take on that. Is that an observation that you agree with?
Well, first of all, totally 100% on the offensive side of the ball. You would only expect that to continue as this unit has literally played together. Because, I mean, when you think about it, Ekiyor played right guard and Mechie played wide receiver pretty much as starters. Everyone else is new. I mean, Evan Neal played right tackle. Well, no, Igor was a left guard last year, so none of them actually are in the same spot. So, yeah, it's you knew that they would get better as time went along. You knew that they would have opportunity to gel and get better offensively, and you know, I'll say this, Tom, and I don't know this, but you notice that the reason Dalcourt ended up winning the job at center, at least from what was communicated to us, was what? Because of bad snaps, right?
Bad snap, and he continued that legacy Saturday.
No, not Dalcourt was the center for most of the game.
Yeah, I know.
But
started with Chris and Dalcourt.
But let me tell you, is that not the first time we've seen that though from Dalcourt?
It is.
Okay, so I like I said, I always go, okay, what changed? And I wonder, did they give Dalcourt more responsibility on calling plays from the line of scrimmage? Okay, because if you go back and look, who traditionally makes the play calls and the line calls and the protection calls? It's the center, right? And I wonder, has Dalcourt been doing that? And I because one thing I saw was the offensive line played better, which means that communication was probably better. So I wonder if they gave Dalcourt more responsibility instead of letting someone else do the play call and the communication. Did Dalcourt take on that responsibility? And in doing so, maybe lost a little focus on his snaps. Because it was like consistently bad for a percentage of, when you look at the percentage of snaps where it was off a little bit, which hurts quarterback timing and hurts running play timing. But our offensive line played better. So I wondered, would that the trade-off, and will we see that get better if that is the case? I don't know that to be the case, Tom, but
maybe I got three questions. My second question is on the regarding the high snap. I think the high snap cost us maybe 20 to 30 yards in our rushing game, because that high snap, I know it looks like it's real fast and everything, but isn't the timing somewhat thrown off because of the high snap with your running game?
100%. Yeah, the running back either has to hesitate. Yeah.
He cost B-Rob probably 25 more yards, which would have put him right at 200 yards. And I was hoping B-Rob was going to have a 200-yard game. And I was so frustrated with that snapping, because you could see the offensive line was blowing up that defense line, and B-Rob had to do some magic on his own, to get to the second level. Or am I blind?
No, some of that was, it definitely throws the timing off on the high snaps. So without a doubt, you'd be right on point with that. So what's your third question?
My third question, Mark, is to somebody that's played the game like yourself. My thing is, Florida obviously put a lot of time getting ready for Alabama in the fall camp and leading up to the game with Alabama. But they turn around, they lose to Kentucky. Is that the risk you run by putting your eggs in one basket and saying, they're going to roll in here? If we can win this game, this is going to be monumental for us. We're going to put all our eggs in the basket to beat Alabama. And then, to your point, Alabama worked on Florida after they were beaten in the championship game by Florida a little bit every day, as opposed to putting all the eggs in one basket. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
I think that's part of it, but also think crowd noise, momentum, and everything. If you were to go back and play that Florida game again with this team after having had the Florida experience, I think they would beat Florida the same way they beat Ole Miss. I think when we got up 21-0 against Florida, offense relaxed, defense relaxed, and they lost their focus and could not regain it. The reality of it is the Ole Miss got 21 points, of course, which wasn't that close. But I think Alabama's offense, had we kept putting the pressure on like we did against Ole Miss, I think it's a different game, Tom. I think that Florida starts rushing and probably makes some mistakes. But because we didn't keep the pressure on offensively, they closed it out. And Big Mo is real. And the crowd got into it, and the crowd made a difference, and we made mistakes offensively. And we would have felt differently about that Alabama game had we got 7 points instead of 3 when we were at the 1 and we got a legal procedure, penalty and backed up because they would have needed 2 scores to win. But because they only needed a score and a 2-pointer, it made that game even tighter. So I think crowd noise makes a big difference. And I don't underestimate Kentucky's defense. I've said that Mark Stoops, I told someone 2 weeks ago, I think Mark Stoops may be one of the best coaches in the SEC.
He was my pick behind Coach Saban. I chose in a little poll they had on one of the other shows. I think it was Barry, Coach Sanchez' show. They had a little call-in poll, and I chose Mark Stoops as my choice as the second best football coach. And I agree 100% with you, but those questions have come to my mind, and I see us getting better and better. And I think Georgia had better watch out.
Yeah.
They're going to burn at this level that they're running at. And don't get me wrong, Nakobe Dean, I'll tell you what, he's as good a linebacker as I've seen come through the SEC in a while.
Yep, and
we may be some better, but it ain't any better than what he played right now.
And let me tell you, he is really, really talented, but he also got 99 and 95 in front of him. So and that makes a huge difference. So
I agree.
That makes good linebackers, Tom. That makes good linebackers great. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it, man. Call back anytime. See ya. All right, let's get the break here. We got a couple callers holding. We'll get you on the other side. Rapid fire on the other side. Thanks, guys, for being a part of the Martin Houston Show. We'll be back in just a moment.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks on this Monday morning. Traffic pretty light. We do have a flash flood watch in effect and a dense fog advisory, so just be careful. If you see conditions, give us a call. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business with an amazing selection, low finance rates, extra rebates, and they'll save you a bundle. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread. Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
Join Randy Smalley and me, Captain Ray, for the Randy and Ray Football Forecast, where we pick the games against the spread. It's this Friday night at 11 following the high school scoreboard show on Tide 100.9. Brought to you by Randy Smalley, Floor and Tile.
Has the pandemic affected your business? Even with more and more customers going online in the past 5 years, online business has grown greatly due to the pandemic. Now more than ever, it's important to have a strong online presence so that customers can find your business and products easily. That's where Townsquare comes in to help. Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free competitive analysis to see how your business stands up to the competition. And if you're one of the first to sign up, you'll get $500 in free advertising on this radio station. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
So as you guys know, Mark's gone. The float artist at Fred's Floral just took off days before the parade.
They need a replacement before business passes them by.
And who am I going to get to finish the float?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
With the help of Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond, I get everyone's morning started with a smile. It has a delicious and hearty combination of the Cheerios you love, whole grain oats, and sliced almonds for an extra crunchy crunch. That's how I set the rhythm for a great day. Look for Cheerios Oat Crunch Almonds in your local grocery store.
Weather brought to you by Tidwell Chiropractic, the only third-generation chiropractor in Tuscaloosa with over 24 years experience. Call Tidwell Chiropractic at 752-70.
Show, your team, the Martin Houston Show, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Got, man, so much to get to. Real quick on the good, bad, and ugly. Great, Virgil Williams said, was player of the game. B-Rob's performance. Good balance of offense. Bad, Bryce staying in the pocket too long, taking sacks. Ugly, Lane's pre-game idiotic behavior. So let's go to George from Macon. You're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, Martin, how you doing? Thanks for taking my call. To me, the good obviously was B-Rob, but also that fourth down pass from Bryce from the left hash to the right, out of bounds marker for the first down. That was on a line. It was perfectly thrown. It was just beautiful. I always hold my judgment about how good someone is until I get a little bit more sample of what they are and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But Bryce Young has just been fantastic. And he might be one of the best when it all ends up, and that's saying a whole lot at Alabama. He does everything really, really well. He seems to be a good leader. He seems to do everything right. He seems to be a good student. And he's got incredible talent. That right there is my good. The bad, or the ugly, our tackling, like you've already talked about, and also our snaps.
Yeah.
I thought Chris Owens was the one who had trouble during
It was.
snaps.
It was.
But, man, that's going to cost us. If we do that against Georgia, or what Davis gets in front of, or Jordan, is it Jordan Davis?
99, yeah. The big 320-pound athlete, yeah.
Yeah, there's no telling where that snap is going to go.
I said, George, I wonder if they gave him more responsibility. I don't know that. I just know that sometimes things like that happens. Part of what happens, George, is what has given us problem offensively when people move, right? And so when people move, go back to Barrett Jones and some of our other great centers, what would happen is that they would move and then the center would make an adjustment, right?
Right.
He would just like a quarterback audibles when the defense changes. I just wonder, had we not had that in the game plan with Dalcourt yet? And did we add that to the game? And in doing so, did that cost us a little bit? So I don't want to say it did or didn't, but I think that's a possibility. And if that is, he'll get better with the centers and making the calls. Hey, I'll give you one more minute, and then I have to get to Pat real quick.
Okay, the bad is, McClellan's knee. I didn't realize he hurt his knee until Saban mentioned it on his post-game show. Is it a ACL or meniscus, or do you have the insight on that?
I've heard it's the ligament, but don't know to what degree yet. I know it's a ligament, but I don't know what the degree. I've heard that it's a ligament. I shouldn't say I know. Don't know to what degree, but he did walk off. So it could be stretched instead of torn, and that's what you pray for.
Okay, one more. Trey Sanders, I expected him to play more. And how about our freshman 5-star running back? I mean, we haven't seen any of him, and normally Saban will play a freshman running back every once in a while.
Saban mentioned it one time, George, and he said that he got hurt, and I don't know what he did. You talking about Kamar Wheaton? I'm sorry. He got hurt, and I don't know if he's still hurt or not. And I've not even seen him shown on the sideline, so I think he's hurt. So, all right, okay. Hey, George, let's pick up that conversation on tomorrow. And I got to get to one more caller. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Hey, Pat, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope that he's saving Kamara's 4 games for toward the end of the season. When it seems like we may need him by then. Let's hope not. Hey, but what did you think about the way that defense at the end of the first half was? It was just it was eating them up. That looked like the game against LSU about 4 or 5 years ago there in Tuscaloosa, where we just ate that quarterback. And the poor quarterback, LSU people wasn't even helping that quarterback. He was dragging himself around. It was awful.
Yeah, we got in a zone, Pat, in that first half. And I, like I said, I think we were in that zone the whole first half from the start. From a play calling standpoint, I think if we had made those tackles early on, and it was 4th down and 8 instead of we'd have them at 3rd and 6 or 7, and then they would get to 4th and 1. We did that about 4 times early on in the game. But when the point you're talking about in the game, we were making those tackles. We were hitting the quarterback in the backfield. We were rushing the pass, tipping balls. Everything was flowing. And for the first time, this defense looked like what we thought it could be. And I think that's huge for their confidence moving forward. And we're going to see a better defense from Alabama moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's going to get a whole lot better. It was like they came into their own family.
Yeah.
And to what like I said, we expected. We've been preaching about how good this defense was going to be, all summer long.
Yeah.
And hey, I hear your music. Hey, have a blessed day, Mr. Houston, and we thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Appreciate you. All right, good, bad, and ugly. I didn't really get to mine, so I'll tell you tomorrow, but I can tell you I'm going to go ahead and give a shout-out to that defense and Pete Golding as a good. The best thing I saw this weekend, didn't get to talk about it, but Mac Jones in a loss to Tom Brady. Mac Jones is going to be the man of the quarterbacks of the Alabama trio. I think the young man has a unbelievable ceiling. Shout out to B-Rob for player of the game, and also the entire O-line, best game of the season to them and to the defense. And then, of course, I'm going to highlight a couple guys. And then tomorrow we'll also make a jaunt around the SEC as there's some coaches maybe on hot seats, maybe Kentucky, a potential one-loss team. Can they run the table if they get by Georgia? They held Florida 8 times inside the 10. A lot going on around the SEC and around the country. And we'll talk about it right here on the Martin Houston Show. That's Joe Gaither. I'm Martin Houston. Thanks to all the callers, listeners, followers, and chatters. Thanks for being a part of the show. Remember to trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. And all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9.
You too, Joe.
Tide 100.9